Welcome to RehabRunning.co.uk, the website that's designed to help you get back on the road after injury. Here's some introductory exercises to help fire up those gluteal muscles. So for the knee against the wall exercise, if you want to assume the position there. So with this, what we're looking for is that the stance knee, this left knee in this case, is in its optimal alignment where the knee is passing over that middle toe. This is an exercise like an isometric exercise, which means that the muscle's working but the joints aren't moving. And what you're going to do is you're going to hold that there for a count of up to 30 seconds and then have a break and repeat 2 to 3 times depending on what the buttock muscle can tolerate. So looking at this same exercise from a side view, got a slight tip forwards through the pelvis, and the weight is going down through the heel. That way ensuring that we're really activating that gluteal muscle and not compensating excessively with the quads. This exercise here is called a scooter. This again is an isometric exercise for the left leg, the stance leg. You're adopting that same optimal position of knee over toes, slight bend, and you're going back and forth with the other leg. So getting used to holding that leg still, or the stance leg still, whilst the right leg is moving. So this is one step closer to running. That same exercise from the side, you can see that the weight is coming down through the heel with a slight knee bend. That's as much knee bend as you need, as it's as much knee bend as you'll probably go through during the landing phase of running. You can repeat up to 20 to 30 cycles of that movement with the right leg and then have a rest. Equal rest to work ratio, and repeat up to 2 to 3 times. So the progression from the scooter is then a scooter with arms. Again, just trying to replicate that running motion as much as possible, but still not putting quite as much stress down as with running, obviously, because we're taking the impact out. And that can be the same number of repetitions. You're doing 20 to 30 cycles 2 to 3 times with an equal amount of rest to the amount of work that you've done. Yeah, so that same motion, you can see clearly here that the pelvis is being held level, and that should be the goal, as well as the knee being over the toes. That level pelvis demonstrates that you've got optimal output from that gluteal muscle. So the final progression in this gluteal series is the running man. This becomes now no longer an isometric or static exercise, but a more dynamic one, but without the impact of running, so just bridges that gap again in terms of rehabilitation. With this, you're looking to be sort of keeping the body still and upright, but separating the movements of both the lower limbs and splitting down through. Again, the weight is predominantly going down through the heel, not too much down through the toe on that lead leg. Looking at that again from behind, see that the pelvis is being held level. The knee is then having to control itself, going over the toes. So the progression of this exercise again involves using the arms whilst the legs going back and forth. Perfect. To then add a further balance or proprioceptive challenge to this exercise, you can put yourself onto a cushion where your ankle then and whole lower limb is having to work a bit harder, and then you can do that with or without the arms and build from there. Same numbers of repetitions, that's a steady progression.